Hey, what's up, fellas? And I must mention my good buddy who goes by the nickname of Yoshi Yoshi. He asked me to record a video, you know, in English, where I would talk about things that talked in my last video that wasn't in English. So that was about why certain or rather many marriages end in a divorce. Yeah. So anyway, first of all, let me make it clear: I'm not married. I've never been married. So this is purely my observation. I may be wrong, but I don't think I. If I am, I'm not really very wrong. Anyway, this happens. Anyway, I don't know. I cannot tell how often this is the reason for why marriages end. But yeah. Well, I have several reasons to give you anyway. As I said in that video, first one is probably the lack of maturity, either in one or both people who are you know in marriage or married. I mean, and sometimes also because they get married a little too soon, and it turns out they weren't ready. Of course, that happens too often, I think. Oh, we thought we were, but we were not ready for this kind of commitment. Yeah, it is kind of, you know, well, not very clever to marry when you are like, I don't know, when you 22 or 3 anyway. I wouldn't do it for sure. Even if it was my last chance to get married, let's say, I don't think I would do it. Not fair, really. But anyway, that's not the only reason. But anyway, immaturity. Let's say if a man gambles, let's take a man as an example, right? Because I don't, also because I don't want to get any flag from feminists or whatever about being a male chauvinist or whatever. If I, well, a man like the husband has a gambling problem, but he doesn't realize it because too often they don't realize it until it's really gone. It's gone bad, gone far. So the husband has a gambling problem. Not funny. And and she sees it, of course. The wife can see it. Where most often the people who live with these people who have these problems can see it. Not always, unfortunately, but yeah, often. So she asks him to quit, but he just fans it all. No, 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 it's not just a little, football, whatever, horses. Once in a while, I gotta do it. It's my hobby, and blah blah blah. And then she says, well, look, we have already one child. We are expecting another one, and you cannot do this. You have to quit. And he cannot because it's stronger than him, and so that's how it happens sometimes. For instance, yes. All right, where was I? Sorry, had to go. Well, yeah, I was there at the maturity. Yeah, some kind of addiction, of course, any kind of addiction is really harmful for the harmony of the marriage and the stability, no less. But in many cases, if the one of the parts in the marriage realizes this their problem, then of course they usually work it out. They fight it together, but not always. sometimes if one of them sees that the other one's addiction is really strong and hard to overcome, that can really scare them into abandoning the marriage, put it that way, and leaving that person. And that's sad. That's very tragic because that person, the last thing that it needs is that it loses its, life partner. And yeah, but that happens. I mean, especially with alcoholics, for instance, who will not or who have had a relapse and then you know just aren't able to kick the addiction fully. What else can you do? And some people don't even want to stop, so it's as bad as that. So yeah, the only solution for the other part is to leave, especially if they got kids who are still kids and not adults. Well, that was one thing. Another thing can be that career comes in the way of real like family intimacy, happiness, interaction, stuff like that. I mean, you have plenty of cases where a man has such a demanding and high paying job that he simply cannot be present much in the house, in the home. And because of that, wife either doesn't work or she works less, so she can be with the kids more, of course. And yeah, and in that case, the marriage becomes more like an institution really than a union or yeah community or a love community. Let's call it that way. And that's also kind of sad because those are cold marriages, like marriages based on well, let's be frank, on money, on wealth and materialism. But today I have plenty such marriages, unfortunately, just the way it is now after the crisis, the Wall Street crash 2008. Yeah, it's become very much like that. I mean, more and more the case, like women marrying the guy for his wealth, his big paycheck, and all that. Yeah. So, but those marriages usually don't fall apart. But what happens is that don't fall apart by themselves. But what happens is that usually, sooner or later, cheating enters the stage, and that's another really major reason for divorces happening. Usually, probably the number one reason still I would say probably yeah infidelity. So why does that happen? Infidelity. Well, there can be several reasons. I mean, sometimes it's just about one of them meeting somebody that they like so much, they find so damn irresistible, so they just have to be with that person in a way that is more than just friendly, of course, with that way. And yeah, sadly, that's the big, how you say, paradox about two people living together like that, like forever, ever and after, whatever it's called, in a uh, monogamic union. It's so hard to maintain that monogamy, really. I mean, in most cases, it is. And today, it's different than like 100 years ago. It was very different times when you had to have morale and stuff. Even then, you had husbands, for instance, cheating their wives, or the other way, even sometimes. But it was hidden away, and you know it seldom came out. But today, it's really in this information age now. It's really hard. Sorry, tough to hide things away. Even when if you are not a celebrity, sometimes it can be hard. You got text messages. Someday, let's say a man is in the shower. The wife takes his cell phone. What's this? Oh, a text message from an unknown woman. I had a great time last night. You know how it works. And he said that he was working overtime, of course, last night, or whatever. He was took a drink with some friends and got really late, and you know the drill. And why does that happen? As I said the first reason. The second reason also when marriage kind of starts to get old, and all that stuff. When the desire for one another starts to cool off, the physical attraction, desire, of course. So yeah, unfortunately that happens too. And then, of course, many try to solve it by going to the counseling, and that's a good thing, but not everybody is willing to do that, of course. And that brings us to number four, is it, I guess, laziness, unwillingness to work on yourself and on your marriage, right? So there are quite many cases, I would say, where people just simply aren't willing to make an effort really to make a marriage work. So they're just yeah, we are married, everything's good now. I don't have to. Let's say from a guy's perspective, which I understand best, of course, being a guy myself. I don't have to work so hard on my, appearance anymore. I don't have to work out because I already have a woman. You just get too, content with yourself. You stop really, like, let's say, working on yourself. Both when it comes to your appearance, you start to gain weight, you start to dress kind of sloppier than before. And for certain women, that's all right. Even, I mean, they expect that in a marriage. But if it happens too soon, I guess, then it's not all right. I mean, it's all right after 15 or 20 years of marriage. But, I mean, well, appearance may not be so damn important, but when you, for instance, are reluctant, you are unwilling to do stuff at home, like, doing certain home, chores, like whatever it is, vacuum cleaning, doing, whatever. And of course, the wife gets fed up after a while, and she says, what? I'm really tired of having to do everything here, and you will not do anything. So, it's now you better start doing pushing your end of the, cart, or it's over. And, so what happens sometimes, the guys just get so pissed, get so infuriated, and like, what the hell she wants me to be, to do house chores, what am I, a housewife? And an argument erupts, and bam, before you know it, that's it. So yeah, never be lazy. I mean, if you are in a marriage, two people can take it for granted. Yeah, now I'm settled. I'm fine. I can take it easy and just, let myself go a little bit, even if I want to. But no, I mean, you should not do that. I mean, just because you are married, you are still you are living. You are not 70 years old and stuff like that. I mean, yeah. So it's yeah. Those are, I think, main reasons for why marriages just don't, just hit the rocks, and yeah. As I said, immaturity. It can be lack of emotional maturity or some other kind, kind of not willing to take responsibilities as much, not willing to face the facts. Like if you have a problem, as I said, an addiction or whatever, of course, infidelity a big part of why you know why marriages fall apart. A big reason. Um, and what I said also now, laziness, unwillingness to do a lot of work to make it all go well, and just sitting there on the couch watching TV, just giving a damn about everything, more or less. And of course, if a man doesn't spend enough, why, as I said, not spending enough time together, that can be because if you have a job that's very demanding, well, you cannot do much with that. But then you try to make it up somehow, and at least. But yeah, I mean, in my time when I was a child, growing up, I know my father had a job that was demanding, yeah, very demanding, and he wasn't home that much. But still, I mean, he tried to be as much with us as possible. But not everybody does. So yeah, you gotta kind of make it up if you can. And in general, not spending much time, enough time to get quality time, is very bad, very dangerous for a marriage, and can easily lead to infidelity, of course. Yeah. Also, you have jealousy, for instance. Oh, yeah, that's also a big part. If it's usually women, I don't know why, but usually it's women the wife who is jealous at husband's whatever female colleagues, let's say, or sometimes yeah, also can be the other way around. The guy is the working place can be really also kind of where these things start to happen. If your spouse has an attractive colleague, that's sometimes enough to just make a for problems to occur. Like jealousy and fights, and stop accusing me of being attracted to her. We are just friends, we are colleagues, and yeah. So in the end, what can you do? Nothing. It's just part of being human. So that's why I said being in a marriage is really a great test, the greatest test of your human qualities and capabilities. All right, take it easy. Peace.